I gave the Straw Hats the perfect devil fruits.
I'm giving the perfect devil fruit to each Straw Hat. So the other day I saw that my friend Zach over at his channel on IMD King tried to figure out the best devil fruit for each Straw Hat that doesn't already have one, which sounded like a ton of fun, so I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. But I'm convinced that I'll be able to find even better fruits, and at the end of these, all of the Straw Hats are just going to be absolutely broken. Starting with Sanji. Now, Zach ended up giving Sanji Whitebeard's Gura Gura Earthquake fruit, which would turn Sanji's kicks into some of the most devastating attacks in all of One Piece. No doubt,
that would be tough.
Pick. Definitely way better than what Oda, the author of One Piece, actually proposed for Sanji's devil fruit himself. Senor Pink's Swim fruit, which allows the user to swim in the ground or walls, which yeah, is pretty powerful.
Ooh, what the fuck?
But doesn't fit Sanji's fighting style of kicking or his personality.
Nah, that earthquake would go crazy, bruh. That nigga will shatter the whole earth with that shit.
At all. So let's find him something that will actually work with his power and enhance it. Now, Sanji's broad range of abilities actually rule out a ton of fruits in the first place. He can already fly and has superhuman strength, which does mean that he doesn't really need any type of zone fruit that would give him any of these abilities, like for example, Kaido's dragon fruit. As you well know, he also has fire powers, in my opinion, ruling out something like the magma or fire logia fruits that would be sort of redundant in this case. And on top of all this, his genetically modified body gives him iron hard skin and high defense value. So Sanji doesn't need anything like the barrier or diamond fruit as well. Now I think that one fruit that would perfectly enhance Sanji's powers is actually Aokiji's ice fruit, a logia type devil fruit that would make Sanji even more unpredictable and harder to damage than even before. Also, ice powers would be the perfect balance to his fire powers, basically making him the Todoroki of One Piece. And on top of that,
he don't need that
to keep food on the thousand suns.
He does not need that damn ice shit, bro. That earthquake would be fucking perfect for this nigga, for real.
Fresh as well. In my opinion, a lot more balanced than the earthquake fruit that has pretty high collateral damage to it. But just as I was about to write this down, it hit me. There is one fruit that is even better for Sanji, and that's Robin's Hana Hana no Mi, which would allow Sanji to kick from wherever with countless legs, make clones of himself that double all of his abilities, and just imagine Sanji making a giant leg just like Robin, but using his fire abilities and haki with it. And without a question,
that boy have a kick barrage, bruh.
It would come in even more handy for his cooking abilities. Next up, we don't have Gojo but Jinbe. Now, Zack gave him the mythical Buddha fruit wielded by Fleet Admiral Sengoku. A pretty strong pick once again. Let's see if we can improve on that one. Now, to pick the right fruit for him, it's important to remember that Jinbe eating a devil fruit would mean that he, as a fishman, can't swim anymore. In other words, giving him a fruit would have to be something so strong that it would make up for that weakness. And coincidentally, Oda just gave the perfect answer to just this dilemma in the manga, where he just introduced the Jinbe's cyborg clone Seraphim that was created by the government. Now, this clone Jinbe has eaten the swim fruit that Oda originally suggested for Sanji, which didn't work at all with his abilities, but in Jinbe's case, it makes perfect sense. The swim fruit allows Jinbe to use his fishman abilities on land. He can swim and dive on land at incredible speeds and even use his fishman karate.
Bro, whatever this swim fruit is, bro, I gotta see this bitch in action, bro. Nigga right here diving into the ground,
which is able to manipulate any liquid. I would actually go so far as to say that this is the only fruit that actually would make sense for Jinbe if we want to respect his actual powers in the story. But let's move right on to Franky. Now, Oda gave Franky the arms fruit that would enable him to turn any part of his body into any weapon. Very fitting for a cyborg who can already turn parts of his body into weapons. And yes, that would definitely be useful for Franky because he already uses a lot of different tools, but I honestly don't think that a lack of weapons to choose from is a problem for him right now. I mean, if anything, Franky is such a great engineer that he can simply add those weapons himself. After all, he already has integrated parts of Kizaru's laser powers into his body, on top of tons of other weapons just in random spaces. Now, Zack gave Franky the Gasha Gasha fruit, which is a non-canon fruit wielded by Douglas Bullet, a former Raja pirate, that allows the user to dismantle anything and reassemble it into whatever they can imagine. Which, I can't lie, is perfect for Franky and his engineering powers. Since he knows the plans of the Pluton, for instance, he could even use this power to reassemble the ancient ancient weapon. But for this,
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that motherfucker. But why is his chin built like that, bruh? It's built like an M.
this video, I really want to try and stay within the canon. So one interesting power for Franky could be Bartolomeo's barrier fruit that would give him incredible defensive powers on top of his offensive ones and make him even more tanky than he already is. But I do want to go more into the offensive route, of course. For example, something like Buggy's Barabara no Mi would allow him to freely manipulate and control his cyborg body parts freely, which would be pretty incredible. And this could even be improved upon by giving him Kid's magnet fruit that would give Franky similar powers to Bullet's non-canon fruit. In this case, he could just use the metal in his surroundings to upgrade and repair his body or freely assemble any machine that he wishes. But once again, I do think that I found one devil fruit that is the absolute perfect match for Franky. You might remember that Franky's bottleneck is actually his cola powers that can run out fairly quickly. And so Franky would be truly unstoppable in my opinion with Enel's Goro Goro no Mi. This would give him infinite energy to power truly gigantuous machines and also give him incredible offensive powers, of course.
Bro, there would be no point in even making a machine, bro.
He could even turn 1000 Sunny into an indestructible force of nature. And since we just learned in the manga that Vegapunk's technology is reverse engineered from the ancient kingdoms that also had unlimited energy, in my opinion, this fruit would make Franky the most powerful character in the entire world. So make sure that you're subscribed or I will send Thunder God Franky to get you. Now this of course means that the Goro Goro no Mi can't be the fruit that we give to Nami. By the way, that is exactly the fruit that both Zack and also Oda Sensei would give to her. And yes, it does seem like the perfect fit for Nami's current powers at first glance. But not only do I think that this powerful fruit
Wait, is her power still all through that damn staff, bruh?
is a way better fit for Franky, as I just explained, but similarly to Sanji and his fire powers, I do think that it would be very redundant for Nami to have electricity powers. I mean, having the Goro Goro no Mi would basically mean that Nami would need neither her climate tact nor Zeus anymore, which both have given her immense offensive powers already. So in my opinion, instead of upgrading something she already has, I would rather find a devil fruit that actually enhances her current abilities. Now, thinking a little bit outside the box, one overpowered fruit that I think would make Nami incredibly powerful and work well with her fighting style could be Doflamingo's Ito Ito no Mi, which would allow her to create these incredibly strong strings. And so using her mirages to confuse her opponents first and then trapping them with her strings would be super cool to see, I think. This ability would allow her to make clones of herself, which would give her even more defensive powers that she really badly needs, and she could fix things on board of the ship and give first aid. But in the end, I guess I also have to agree.
Bro, I don't even know what the fuck fruit I would give Nami, bro. They had some damn manipulating mind fruit, bro. Nami could have that bitch for real.
That Nami really needs a fruit that goes well with her weather theme. Now, if Luffy's father Dragon actually has something like the Storm fruit, that would of course be the ultimate fruit for Nami, but it's not confirmed in the story yet at least, so we can't use it. And something that might be an even better fit anyways could be Big Mom's Soul fruit. As you know, Nami is already using a homie to fight, and if she was able to turn anything from lightning to fire to water into a living thing that she can control, well, she could manipulate the weather and much more on top of it. And now some people have argued that Nami could not use this fruit for moral reasons, but other than Big Mom, I personally think that Nami would probably simply use her own soul and maybe that of her crewmates to create any new homies. But luckily, we don't even have to debate this moral dilemma because my personal favorite and the, in my opinion, perfect fruit for Nami would be Kaido's dragon fruit. I mean, it can naturally create clouds in just moments, which would turn the entire battlefield into her terrain to control, where she could just rain down powerful lightning with Zeus. She could create wind for the Sunny, of course she could fly, and on top of everything else, have the most ridiculous offensive power imaginable. Now Zack,
bro, it's kind of fucking with my brain because I don't know nothing about like these new character abilities and shit.
Zack did give this fruit to Usopp instead, or to be more precise, to Usopp's slingshot, which I do find incredibly creative and would look pretty epic, but again, we really want to try here and work with the Straw Hat's natural abilities. Oda's pick for Usopp is the pocket fruit, which would basically give his body infinite pockets, which he says is perfect for a sniper like him who needs places to store his ammunition, which I just gotta be honest is pretty lame. In my opinion, the only devil fruit that I want for Usopp is a mythical human fruit model giant. I mean, think about it. Usopp throughout the story has become friends with all the giants of
This fucking guy, bruh. Oh my, this was the most boring arc on planet Earth, bruh.
Elbaf, Dory and Bragi, Oyamo and Kashi, Hairujin and Dressrosa. As you probably know, the giants represent Usopp's perfect image of a brave warrior of the sea, his dream. So really, what better way to literally make his dream come true than turning himself into an actual giant? Isn't that right, Gojo? What's that? Oh yeah, this devil fruit does probably really exist in One Piece, and it would be so perfect for Usopp, but since it's not an official fruit quite yet, let's think of a more suitable alternative. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Viola's Giro Giro fruit would allow Usopp to target enemies far, far away, but then again, Gojo, I feel like since he awakened his observation haki on Dressrosa, I don't really think that he needs that anymore. Me personally, I think, alright. Instead, I personally would give Usopp a devil fruit that was just recently revealed in the manga. That of Marine Admiral Green Bull, the Forest Logia devil fruit. I mean, we already know that during the time skip, Usopp has been getting really familiar with different types of plants and uses them exclusively as his ammunition. So having this ability, in my opinion, much better than the pocket fruit, because this would give him infinite ammunition. He could create a forest and switch positions throughout it freely to target his enemies from hidden angles, and as a Logia user, he would be way less susceptible to damage.
Bro, whoever the other guy was who was giving these Straw Hats devil fruits, bruh, I think his name was like Zach or something. You actually giving him some good ass fruits. I don't know what O'Hara is giving him, bro.
He could also really use the powers to drain energy from his enemies and heal himself, something that would be especially important for Usopp, who always is taking tons of damage in every fight. Which now brings me to the man that we've all been waiting for. How broken can we make Zoro? Oda gave Zoro Kaido's fruit, which again makes no sense if we're being honest. I mean, yes, this fruit is incredibly overpowered and you can basically give it to anyone and it makes them strong. I mean, just look at Momonosuke. But how does turning into a dragon complement Zoro's incredible sword skills, which is what makes him one of the most powerful characters in the story in the first place? Zack, on the other hand, decided to give Zoro Kizaru's Light Logia fruit, a pick that I totally respect because that would actually have been my first idea for Zoro as well. I mean, this fruit lets Zoro still use his sword skills and even create light swords, as we see with Kizaru himself. Plus, it gives him an incredible speed boost, but I think we can make Zoro even more overpowered.
Go ahead and try.
A better pick for Zoro, just like for Sanji, would have been Robin's Hana Hana no Mi, giving Zoro more sword arms to use, but it does work way better for Sanji here.
He don't need that shit, bro. Don't he got like an ability where he can already do something kind of like it?
I mean, he can sprout legs and kick wherever he wants, but Zoro can't just duplicate his sword, so just having arms pop up in random spaces would be a bit of a waste for him. Alternatively, Zoro could eat a zone like the Spider Devil fruit and use that for more arms, just like this marine guy here does, and use some poison.
Why do you want to give him more arms so bad, bro? The 3-sword style is goated, bro. Leave that be, bro.
Poison attacks, but that's also not really like Zoro's fighting philosophy, I feel. Though then again, you could—
that light one will be goated just cause he can move fast, bro. He don't need to make no light sword.
Could also kind of argue that the use of any sort of devil fruit would kind of go against Zoro's Bushido code. So for the sake of this video, let's say we hold a knife to Luffy's throat and tell Zoro to eat a devil fruit or else. Which one is the best? Well, I personally would give Zoro none other than Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruits. Think about it. Its ability to nullify devil fruit powers depends on direct contact with the opponent, something that very much works in Zoro's favor as a swordsman. He's able to drain opponents of their fruit ability, so they actually have to face him straight on with their own sword fighting skills. As a result, this would make even the most powerful devil fruit users completely powerless against him. Just imagine Blackbeard with Zoro's sword fighting skills, and
that shit kinda would be a good fruit for Zoro. But then at that point, he'll just be overpowered as shit.
You get the idea. And on top of that, Zoro could just store infinite things inside his pocket dimension, basically working as an infinite storage source for the crew. So let me know which one you would have chosen for each Straw Hat.
W video, bruh. W O'Hara.